you enjoyed that roll-in about the art wall and that you continue to stay tuned here. This Tuesday, May 16th, and we have Roy O'Connor with us, who is our board resident director. He lives among us. He is one of us, and we're very glad to have him with us this morning. Roy, welcome.
Oh, good to be here. Good
glad
to see you,
have
Clint.
you as always.
Absolutely.
You are our resident director. Mm-hmm. What does that really mean?
Well, what it means is that under our new lingo is that I am a director living in the community, as you mentioned. So as such, I think the board's Communications Relations Committee, as well as the board itself, rely on me to give them feedback and also comments on policies and things that may affect residents.
Right.
And they respect what I have to say since I do live in the community.
Right. And so, you've been living in the community now for what, 8, 9, no, you've been longer than 12 years, right?
12 years September.
Okay, I did remember.
Labor Day 06. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I tell you, time flies, right?
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And you've been on the board for what, 6 years?
Since 2013. I'm now in my 6th year.
You're in your 6th year now, right?
Right, exactly.
Very good.
Second term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
How many terms do you have? I mean, and how long are your terms?
The term is 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in the second year of the second term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you term limited? Or are you?
No, it's a combination of the board if they wish to reappoint me, and also if I wish to continue serving. So.
You mentioned if the board desires to reappoint you. The board is selected how? How is the overall?
The board, it's a self-appointing board.
Okay.
They have a nominating committee, 3 members.
Mm-hmm.
And so if in the beginning of the process, what they do is, for the case of resident director,
right,
they would put a notice in all the cubbies and say, anybody interested, submit your resume.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what they did with me. And 5 of us were interviewed, and then the nominating committee selected me, presented my name to the whole board, and then they approved it.
Okay.
So they also do that for selecting members, the other outside members,
right,
same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. For those that don't know, Roy was our president of our resident council, and I was your vice president for 2.5 months.
Right. And then you got to take over. Right, exactly.
And Roy stepped down to go on the board, and I became president of the council for 3 years.
Yeah.
But we could not ask for a better representative. Thank you, Roy, for doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing that, and part of your job, as I understand it, is to come and talk with residents about things anytime the resident wants to talk. But isn't the board coming and doing something special?
Oh yeah, coming up. By all means, I hope that most of the residents know. Next Tuesday, May 22nd, we're going to have our annual board town hall to go over the annual report. It'll be in the Hunters Crossing Conference Center at 2 o'clock. Yes. And not only that, we're also going to have a very nice reception afterwards, we hope. Everyone that can come will come and enjoy a chance to talk to the other CRC members that will be here. That's Jackson Bain, who's now our chair of our board, and also Eileen Airstead. Both of them are longtime members of the board, 10 years or more. Yes. And so we're looking forward to it. Next Tuesday, put it on your calendar.
That's right. Yeah,
exactly.
2 o'clock, May 22nd,
yeah, right?
And then residents don't know this, but after all of that, after the board and the meeting and the town hall and the reception, the 3 of you are going to be interviewed here on Channel 6, and we'll show it at a later time.
Yes, we're planning to do that, and we'll do that. We did one last November, but this time we have one new member, Eileen Airstead, who replaced Betty Price. And so again, we want to talk mainly about the new structure of the board on that taping. We'll also be covering that in a meeting.
Right.
So lots happening, with the board these days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And as a resident, we appreciate hearing more about the board, what's going on with it, and how you guys are doing things.
Right. And the other thing I would add to that, Clint, is anytime I'm very glad one-on-one to talk to any resident about any question that they may have. And it's interesting. We have a lot of new residents all the time. Every year there's a big turnover. So they're new and need to hear about it. But even the older residents sometimes may not be aware of the structure.
Right.
I mean, it's not simple. It is a little complex. I mean, how it all works. But I think the thing the residents need to know is that there is a board of directors that is overlooking the management company, and that the main interest, the main focus of the board is the welfare of the residents, okay? And so, you know, we've set up under the new structure now, we have the CRC, we call it the Community Relations Committee. And we actually started this over a year and a half ago, so before we even got to the goal line, which was April 1st this year, we were actually practicing that. And so the Community Relations Committee, we meet twice a year with the whole council. We also meet with the management at that time. And then in between, we also meet with the council officers. And of course, we have our town hall meetings, one in the spring, one in the fall.
Right.
And all of this is there to support communications, okay? To be able to communicate with the residents what's going on, and hear from them, see what's going on.
Well, the big thing I'm hearing these days, Roy, is the fact people are saying, we own this place, you know, and they can't tell us what to do. You know, what is this with the management company and us?
Yeah, you know, yesterday, I was sitting on the health committee meeting, and I thought, just for the fun of it, when they asked me to make a comment, I said, I have a question for you. Who owns Green Spring? And about 4 people said, we do. I said, no, we don't, including me. Yeah. The Green Spring Village Incorporated, not-for-profit corporation, owns all the buildings, grounds, and equipment. Okay, the corporation owns it. The board doesn't own it. They're just the stewards of the corporation. So it's protected. There's no outside interest. There are no shareholders. So I think I just want to make that point clear to everybody that the Green Spring Village not-for-profit organization has owned Green Spring Village in terms of buildings, grounds, and equipment since the last day of 2005 when they purchased it all. Okay.
And they purchased it from John Erickson, right?
From John Erickson, who was the developer and builder, the entrepreneur that created this wonderful place. Yeah.
Okay. When you're talking about the corporation, is there a head of the corporation?
Yes. Well, the chair of our Green Spring board is Jackson Bain.
Okay.
Okay. And the current board under the new structure is made up of 15 other directors plus myself. So there's 16 people on the Green Spring board. All those other people are also members of National Senior Campuses not-for-profit board, which is the sponsoring and overseeing board for all of the, well, now we count 17 communities which NSC has board responsibility for. So that's, yeah, that's what is going on. I think the other thing about this new CRC, which I'd like to point out to the residents, we have a lot of duties, but you know, number one is what we call governance. What does that mean? We're really overlooking to make sure that we carry out our what I call fiduciary responsibilities, make sure no one's going away with the assets, that they're properly employed, that we have good systems to check on those types of things. Communications is big. Communications to the residents, communications to the management team, communications with any outside organization that where we can get information about this industry, senior housing. We do have some performance metrics, okay, that we've talked about before. Number one, though, we want to take care of residents. What does that mean? We want to make sure that the resident care agreement, which we all signed when we came in here, and if you look at it, we recently had a good seminar that Ron Taylor ran.
Really a good seminar.
And on the top of it, it says Green Spring Village Incorporated. So it's between the resident and the corporation. And under that, we have certain rights as residents. And we want to make sure that that resident care agreement is carried out. We want to keep it affordable. Okay. This is our goal is to bring in middle-income seniors. That's the goal. So that means we have to be very prudent, make efficient use of the resources, try to keep the rates affordable, and that is a key concern. Not only for new people coming in, but for the current residents that are here. And then finally, one thing I was going to mention to you is that we do have in our what we call our performance metrics, each year we do a management performance evaluation, okay? And I'm directly involved with that, with the other 2 CRC members actually preparing it. And they say, you know, what is that? Okay, what is that? Well, it's just like if any of you worked for a big company or anywhere, you might have some kind of a performance plan, so some kind of management by objective, something like that. But there was a checklist, and here's all the things that we, you know, are supposed to be done, and we go through that. Okay, point by point, point by point. Again, there's a lot of important aspects of it, and we do that every year, and we review that. First, it has to be approved by the whole board, and then discussed with the management team. So it's an important document. And the final thing I want to mention under our duties too is compliance. There are lots of rules and regulations, particularly since we're funded, in many cases, like particularly in Garden Ridge, by the federal government. So we have to be sure we're complying with the laws.
With the laws, right? Very good. Well, Roy, very, very interesting information, very good information. It's information I think all residents need. And if somebody did not hear everything, I encourage them to look at the April Villager. You did a very nice article. It's on page 4 of the April issue of the Villager. And then to make sure they come to the town hall meeting on the 22nd of May,
please.
right?
Please join us.
There you go,
Okay.
22nd of May at 2 o'clock. Come to the town hall with the board, stay for the reception, and then watch for the showing of the taping that will be done after the reception.